To err is human, but in the field of medicine, human error, negligence and malpractice has led to the death of thousands of Pakistanis. With an under-resourced and underfunded health sector, where does the blame lie? And more importantly, how do we protect our loved ones under these circumstances? Shocking revelations of deaths due to the negligence of doctors and hospital staff never fail to make the headlines, but someone is yet to provide the public with a concrete solution to the problem. Today, we examine these very solutions, hidden away in government offices, internet blogs, and expert minds. (370 BC), island of Kos, Greece. The father of medicine, Hippocrates, is laid to rest. Noted for its strict professionalism, the Hippocratic school gave importance to the clinical doctrines of observation and documentation. These doctrines dictate that physicians record their findings and their medicinal methods in a very clear and objective manner, so that these records may be passed down and employed by other physicians. 2,379 years later, in present-day Pakistan, the codes laid down by Hippocrates are still far from sight.
Unfortunately, in Pakistan, we do not keep a record of the errors for one reason or another.
If you are going to do a task, it may have an error rate of 1 in 1 million, or it can have an error rate of 1 in 1,000. It will likely to happen once something will go wrong.
Even the 50% of the doctors working in Pakistan don't have a valid registration. It's unethical, it's against the law, and it's the weakness of the Pakistan Medical Dental Council regulatory mechanism too.
As the word describes, malpractice, you're doing a wrong kind of practice, and that is many things involved in it. For example, a surgery is not required and you do a surgery.
If a person is not properly trained, he doesn't take proper care, and if knowing his limitations, he wants to go for a job which he has not been trained, it's his medical negligence.
We all know that in our country we have more than 600,000 quacks. They are in the cities, in the slums, in the rural areas, and they do everything which is unscientific, and they kill thousands of people every year.
Doctors and nurses argue that the systems in which they operate are unregulated and that incidents of negligence occur due to understaffed hospitals. Blurry bioethic laws, along with delayed justice from civil and criminal courts, are creating apathy in society, while doctors continue to cut open and stitch up patients unaccountable. So who is watching over everything, and who has the most to lose? Understanding who the key players are is the first step to sifting through the problem. The Pakistan Medical and Dental Council, known as the PMDC, is essentially an association of doctors and dentists that is empowered to look after public interest. Its aim is to maintain proper standards, supervise medical education in the country, to keep a record of qualified doctors and dentists, and to take disciplinary action if required for criminal convictions or serious professional misconduct of a doctor. No society can survive without them, but do the doctors and dentists of our country feel accountable to their patients, their relatives, and more importantly, to the law? The Pakistan Medical Association is an organization of doctors that aims to safeguard and defend the interest and integrity of the members of the medical profession through ethical, moral, or legal means at the disposal of the association.
Pakistan Medical Association has a very important role to play, being ex-secretary of Pakistan Medical Association. Remember, Pakistan Medical Association is a professional body which is a patient-friendly association. Number one, we fight for the right of the patient. We do not act as a implies union of the doctors, no.
With a worldwide shortage of nurses, Pakistan too is feeling the crunch. It is estimated that for every 4,000 people, there is only one nurse available. Are nurses and paramedics, who are often poorly trained and are badly paid, equally to blame for acts of negligence and malpractice? Being an underdeveloped area of law under the current legal system, a doctor or hospital can be tried under civil courts to claim damages or under criminal courts to punish the offender. But these cases may take between 5 and 10 years to be finally resolved. The question is justice delayed indeed justice denied? The victim of malpractice is probably the biggest loser in the whole plot, that is, if he or she survives. Just how easy is it for you, I, or anybody else to get knocked out of the game?
No, first you have to accept that there is a problem. If we all think there is no problem, then this is useless.
This might be true, yet the execution of service delivery in the medical field continues to have enormous margins of error. If service delivery was indeed looked at as a retail business where customer satisfaction is of primary importance, perhaps we'd have a more effective and error-free health delivery system. Believe it or not, but a flight on a commercial jet plane might be one of the safest things you do in the course of your life. In fact, statistically, it is proven that the flight might actually be safer than your ride to the airport.
In an ICU, for a number of healthcare activities that you do, and if your error rate is 0.01%, and if you now translate this into an aircraft, say for example in Chicago O'Hare flying, if you have that same error rate, you will have 2 crash landings a day. If you take it into a banking system, you lose at 16,000 checks a day. So you can imagine how much more error prone the medical delivery of healthcare is.
Aviation and healthcare are both incredibly high-risk industries. Yet, in the US alone, according to the Institute of Medicine, between 44,000 and 98,000 people die in hospitals each year due to preventable medical errors. This can be calculated as equivalent to 3 jumbo jets crash landing every 2 days in 1 year.
And unfortunately, we have not learned from the aircraft industry. For example, as I said, for example, they have a checklist. We don't have a checklist. And I think that comes from our belief that, or our mistaken belief that physicians know it all. They know everything, they can deal with all situations and every circumstances, which is of course not true.
There is now a growing concern that reports of errors in medicine are on a different scale from error tolerated in other industries, and this is not a problem specific to Pakistan.
The government has to first of all give better regulation, and that is a political issue, so that governments have a reason to check this and make for better healthcare healthcare regulation. And then on the judicial side, more cases come in and the courts find that this is a real social problem, and remedies have to be evolved and found in common law, and thus this whole area would be developed both politically and legally.
After the break, we take a look at how the aviation industry has much to teach us about safety.